And for another perspective on this, the Reverend Sam Rodríguez is back with us. He's president of the National Hispanic Christian Leadership Conference and senior pastor of the New Season Church in Sacramento, California. He's also an advisor to the White House on faith issues. It's good to have you back. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So when you and I spoke back in November, just after Election Day, about Trump immigration policies, you said you had assurances from the Trump team that their focus would be on deporting undocumented immigrants with criminal records. Here's what you said at the time.
Now, I could tell you right here to your audience, I would be the first one vociferously protesting if the administration comes after families that have been here 20, 25, 30 years, 15 years, God-fearing, hardworking, not living off government subsidies whose children were born here.
So did you protest when ICE started arresting and deporting long-settled families and farm workers?
I can't necessarily express how I protested, but I can say with clear conviction and with a love to God and integrity and my children, I can go to sleep at night knowing that I was faithful to my word. I was given assurances, and I commend and applaud President Trump for pivoting, for making a declarative statement as it pertains to, please target the criminal element, and his wording, not mine, leave the good people who are hardworking, and he was referencing farm workers in California, but others likewise, leave them alone. Let's find a solution out there, but just target the criminal element. I agree with President Trump's clear articulation that the priority should be exclusively those involved in nefarious activities.
President Obama deported far more undocumented immigrants than President Trump has. He even earned the nickname deporter-in-chief, but he focused on recent arrivals and undocumented immigrants with criminal records. And you were an advisor to former President Obama at the time. So how do you compare with what happened then to what you're seeing now, especially with these high-profile raids that critics say are designed to provoke and escalate and instill fear?
These high-profile raids may very well be the outcome of sanctuary cities and sanctuary laws. Let me put it in perspective. If sanctuary states, cities, and laws would not exist, Department of Homeland Security, ICE would have access to prisons and jails and to information and cooperation from local law enforcement. When that is no longer present, they have to go with this large net, this incredible net. Now, that was explained to me specifically and directly as I asked the same identical question. And I was told explicitly, the only reason this is happening, the raids are directly proportional to sanctuary laws. If you're not cooperating, we're going to have to cast a large net, and in that large net, unfortunately, may be, and I'm quoting here, air quotes here for purpose, innocent bystanders, meaning those that came in here undocumented, but have not been engaged in nefarious activities, and maybe family members to the criminal elements being picked up.
When you say that you spoke up, you expressed your concerns to the Trump administration, what was the response that you received?
Again, for ethical purposes and for purposes of preserving my relational dynamic with the current administration, I cannot share the specifics of how, when, where, who. What I can tell you is that I did express my angst and my consternation because I'm hearing it from pastors. I really am. I'm hearing it from pastors. There's great concern. And we're talking about pro-Trump pastors, conservative Christian pastors, the 64% that supported his reelection in 2024. And there's great anxiety out there because their parishioners are living in fear. So really, if Homeland Security would execute President Trump's instructions, the fear would go away and we would work on a congressional solution.
I'll put to you the same question I put to Pastor Malave. I mean, do you think the fear is by design?
It's the fear by design. It's the fear by design. I don't deny the fact that there may be a strategy to prompt people to self-deport. And in order to prompt people to self-deport, there may be an element of fear or fear-mongering that may be part of the algorithm currently in place. And I'm not here to justify President Trump's policy. I'm here to tell you firsthand in conversations, that's not President Trump's directive. It isn't. It may be others, but it's not his.
He's still president, no?
But he is president. But right now, I'm going to be honest, there are a couple, and this is important, of course, to all of us. But, Israel, Iran, the U.S. engagement, there are some pretty important things happening simultaneously right now, where this issue may not be front and center as a priority item list as of today. Uh, but there are others who are executing. And as you mentioned previously, there seems to be a disconnect between his directive and the execution of policies currently. So I do hope they place themselves in perfect alignment with the president's petition, for lack of a better term.
The Reverend Samuel Rodríguez, senior pastor of the New Season Church in Sacramento, California. Thanks again for your time this evening.
Thank you for having me.